Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here today. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a quick look at Gala, see what's going on here, and obviously peek over at Bitcoin, see what's up with that wonderful piece of work. So we have a 27% correction in just under 16 hours. That was probably one of the worst corrections we've seen yet. But the great news is the price has ramped back up significantly, and there's a good chance we're going to see that consolidate between 48,000 and 52. That should be some sideways action throughout the weekend. We might see a correction again on Monday based on the fact that we have some, news in the world right now that is effectively impacting majority of the traditional stock market, and that has an influence here as well. That's why we see Monday through Fridays have more impact than we do on weekends. So don't get ahead of yourself. We're still not in the clear, but I do think that based on what we've seen here so far, this very large candle wick tells me the bottom is most likely in. Okay. It should not go much lower than this. That's my speculation. Again, the reason why I think that is because we have a nice little strong support level here, right at about 48,000, and of course potential resistance slash support once it breaks at 52.5. So all good things here for Bitcoin in that sense. Just one other thing to bring to your attention too, we did have a CME gap that was filled from the 28th? Yep, and that had to fill based on expiration. So all good things here. We typically see this Fridays this time of the year or this time of the month, we see that gap get filled if there is one, and that is essentially what happened. So I'm not super worried about that. That influenced it. It was just this knee-jerk reaction with the fear of the market plus the news and the CME gap. It was just a bad storm. All there is to it, but a better buying opportunity, right? Depending on how you look at it. So of course, always save money in Tether or whatever the case is. Set money aside so you can have the opportunity to be able to buy these dips when they occur, because we're still very much in a bull market. The 4-year cycle is coming to fruition, and we need to understand that December can very well still be a very good month. Okay, it's just going to start a little rocky, and that's essentially a very common characteristic in the 4-year cycle as well. So do your own research on that if you're curious what I mean by that. And take a look here at Gala. Just before we jump in there, I want you to know I'm not a financial advisor. I do love teaching people how to become a better traders, so that's why I have a trading community designed with that purpose, of course. So if you haven't checked it out already, go ahead and consider looking at that. I was so impressed with my community. They all came together as a group, very collective, calming everyone down. Yes, there was some erratic and excited behavior, of course. It's hard not to get ramped up when that happens, but just amazing group of folks there. It was really awesome. Super proud of them. So thank you so much to my patrons for coming together as a community and just making sure that we're all on the same page and helping each other out. Very, very awesome. Okay, so looking at the 1-day candlesticks, we can see obviously a very strong correction. We've got these three red crows here essentially correcting downwards. Now, this is normal. This is very standard for a correction because we lost support at about 60 cents and the price continued down. Now, these last two candlesticks are definitely because of what just happened. I don't think Gala would be where it's at presently if it wasn't for that. But keep this in mind, we're right at this 50% mark. So in other words, if we take this highest point and the lowest point, you cut it almost in half, we're pretty much right about halfway. In other words, that's a very standard place in which the price will continue to consolidate. So right where we're at here, about 47 cents, should be close to the bottom. I would say worst case, we'll see somewhere close to 36 if we see a stronger correction on Monday. We don't know that'll happen yet, so I just, again, recommend dollar cost averaging. Don't put all your eggs into one basket. Just put a little bit at a time if this is the coin that you want to invest in. Make sure you're not just trying to buy the dip when it happens. Yes, buy the dip, the concept is right, but small amounts per dip is recommended because dollar cost averaging will save you money in the long run. It'll get you a much better average. So just make sure you set money aside and just keep slowly adding to your position. All right, anyways, enough about that. Let's go and look at some of the technical data. We're still above 50 on the RSI, which is great. That is a good sign. We haven't reached that scary moment yet. When we look at this, almost every single coin right now is dipped below 30 on the RSI based on that significant decrease. And of course, the correction. So, we're seeing a lot of this here right now where we got this downward pattern. It can only go for so long. Okay. We're going to have a break to the upside. And I think that break is going to come soon for a lot of coins. So just bear in mind, this is at that point where it has to recover because it was getting beaten down a little bit even before this happened. Okay. But we are below the 4-hour 50-day simple moving average, which is not great, but that's been like that for a little while. What's great is the fact that this 200-day simple moving average is working its way up. And that could and should effectively increase the price action soon if it comes to it. We shouldn't expect to see that happen based on the simple fact that I believe the price will recover and increase in the relative near future, again, based on Gala's fundamentals, right? but there's no doubt that this is a very significant pattern and that we don't have any obvious indication that it's going to break, but there's potential for MACD convergence in the near future. Most coins are kind of shaping up that way. It's that instant recovery that happens when you hit the bottom, right? Now, is this coin at its bottom? It's hard to say specifically. I would say more likely than not it is, based on the simple fact that we have this support level here, which was a previous all-time high, that it should be considered a support. Granted, it's rejecting out right now at this point in time, so we want to wait a little while to see where it goes from here. But if you kind of can identify 46, 47 cents, it is roughly where the price action should be based on the current circumstances. So all good things really here for Gala, but I'm not confident in the sense that we're going to see Gala just jump straight up here today. Like some other coins like what KuCoin and what Mana's another one too, Luna, those ones are cranking right now. And this because they should have never came down in the first place. It's just that natural correction that happens, but they've almost completely recovered from where they started. Okay, this coin hasn't completely recovered yet, and that's, I wouldn't say it's cause for concern. It just means that we need to be aware of the fact that it's not going to happen right away or immediately. So that's why you want a dollar cost average and add to your position if it continues to go down. Okay. So there's no guarantee it's going to come up, at least in the immediate future, especially if there's another knee-jerk reaction on Monday. This one will be the first to go. Like, it's funny, coins that are over-exaggerated, like ones like this, the coins that run up to the top and essentially just, you know, fall flat on their face, those ones have a tendency of getting hit harder than others that have kind of healthy patterns. In other words, not to say this is completely unhealthy, but the increase of Gala was so significant. I mean, we saw, what, 110% in under 24 hours at one point. It's no wonder why it's getting, you know, sold off, because when crazy stuff in the world happens, the first thing people are going to do is sell the coins that are the most profitable for them, because most people are still in the green in Gala, so it's okay for them to you know, wipe their complete portfolio free and clear if that's the case, right? Again, different mindsets for different things, of course, but let's go ahead and take a quick peek over at HMO Cloud. We're going to be below that. That's pretty standard. There's no real reason to look at that. We can kind of see here, though, we're about 6 hours into this bullish trend. So I think we're going to probably see a consolidation between 45 and 47 cents, and then eventually break to the upside. I wouldn't say it'd be a strong break to the upside, but we should be in the 47 to 55 range in the relative near future. I don't speculate Gala is going to go any lower than 36 cents. I know that's kind of a wide range, but it's a little too early to tell right now because it is getting rejected by this resistance, the previous all-time high of 47 cents. So we got to hold true to that. So 47 could be the new you know, denominator, so to speak, for Gala. But again, not terrible, not great. I think it's kind of more neutral at this point. Continue dollar cost average if possible, and just know that we shouldn't expect to see a major increase. Set some money aside for next week, Monday, just so you're not left out in the rain when, you know, the price either does decrease or, hey, maybe it goes up. We don't truly know, but I speculate that a coin like this is going to kind of continue to go sideways for a little bit longer than we'd like it to, just based on its history. That's the only reason. It has nothing to do with the fundamentals, right? It's based on the fact that it flew too close to the sun for really too fast, if that makes any sense. Hopefully that analogy is satisfactory. Thank you so much for joining me here. Thank you so much to my patrons again for being such an awesome community. If you want to consider joining that, I do have available slots now at this point, and we'll be more than happy to get to know you better. Looking forward to that day. If that's okay, no worries at all. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.